Our headline story: cryptocurrencies gaining ground as legal tender. Payment businesses have gone through a revolution in the last few years, from blockchain and fintech to AI and cryptocurrencies. The world of international commerce is moving faster than ever, and now Bitcoin cryptocurrency has been accepted by a major player as a means of business payment. This is our focus today. I'm Tolulokwe Adeleru Balogun. Welcome. This is Business Edge. The CEO of PayPal, Dan Schulman, has announced that the company has started allowing people to pay for things using cryptocurrency on its platform. The online payment platform is used by around 29 million merchants and customers, and the new cryptocurrency payment service called Checkouts with Crypto will be expanded to all of them in the coming months. It will also work by converting cryptocurrency into fiat currency, which is what the merchants will receive. Now, bringing the crypto conversation back to Nigeria, despite the ban on cryptocurrency trading with the deposit money banks in February, Nigerians' appetite for the digital currency has increased. This is as peer-to-peer or P2P trading has increased, as well as investors' usage of the cryptocurrency. Now, P2P trading is simply when two people interact directly with each other to buy or sell cryptocurrency. Nigeria's present disposition on cryptos may not stand for too long. As you can see around the world, countries are adjusting to accommodate crypto transactions. Joining me from the United Kingdom is Ola Atose. He's the founder and CEO of KoinKoin, and we're going to get into PayPal's decision, as well as possibly a change in stance from Nigeria's regulators. Ola, welcome to Business Edge. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, thank you for having me, Tolu. Thank you.
So let me ask what is a very simple but a basic conversation to set the foundation of this discussion. Were you surprised by the decision that PayPal has now taken to accept Bitcoin as payment?
Not really, no. I think PayPal have recognized the fact that, crypto is coming more mainstream, and they've finally realized that they might as well get on the bandwagon before it's too late. So PayPal have done it, and I'm sure there'll be other payment companies following.
Okay, so you're saying that this is simply about getting on the bandwagon before it's too late. Now, we all seem to call Bitcoin the same way we call certain brand names for one product. So Bitcoin is just a type of cryptocurrency. This is the first one that is getting this kind of acceptance globally. What do you think will happen with the others? Of course, it's the more well-known cryptocurrency out there, but what do you think about the others? Ethereum, you have so many others out there. What happens to them now?
Well, they all have their use cases, and I think in the case of PayPal, they will allow users to use or liquidate their crypto holdings. So I understand that includes Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin initially. So they're the most traded ones, and they're the ones that most exchanges offer. So in essence, 29 million users that PayPal has across several sovereign regions will have access through a variety of exchanges to Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Ethereum. That said, there are use cases for many other coins, as you've mentioned, and I think it's a world where each coin will have to, present their case. Obviously, KoinKoin is an exchange. If we feel a coin will add value to our service or value to our users, we will list the coin. And I think each coin will have to make its case. Bitcoin, as you know, is quite volatile. So some people would say, well, Bitcoin is too volatile. Why can't we use something else? If anyone presents a case for a coin which is less volatile, perhaps, maybe PayPal will consider allowing merchants to check out, and hold crypto as opposed to checking out and getting fiat. So that's obviously a conversation that I'm sure we'll have in the months to come.
Let's go back to motivation. It's really easy to say that PayPal is just trying to join the bandwagon before it's too late. But beyond that, let's break it down. What would make a payment services platform such as PayPal really actively look at bringing on cryptocurrencies, particularly Bitcoin and the others you mentioned, as something that can be made of use for its customers?
Well, I mean, I think they realize that, they already have the user base. There is a lot of increased interest in crypto. Crypto in itself, at best, is being described as a store of value. So if it is a store of value, but you still need to use that value to purchase things. PayPal is like, well, in that case, if people hold crypto with us, if they want to buy something, why don't they just have the option to liquidate some of their crypto to buy something? So that does more for PayPal's bottom line and their profits, of course. And that's the way PayPal's looking at it. And they're trying to play both sides. So in a world whereby, the fiat currencies, continue to be dominant, they will win. In a world whereby crypto may well go mainstream and become even more dominant, in the case of Tesla, as I'm sure you're aware, they intend to, sell cars for Bitcoin, but hold Bitcoin and not fiat. So if the world moves that way, PayPal will be in a position to also make that happen for their merchants.
All right. Okay, please go ahead, finish.
I said either way, crypto is here to stay. That's the view.
And I think that's a view that is shared by many. So you did talk about the exchanges and the possibility of each coin having to make a case for itself with different exchanges, even like your own KoinKoin. But in terms of the impact, since this announcement has been made, what has been the impact on the exchanges, your own, others across the world as well, and even on the continent specifically, especially when you consider that there are countries that do have restrictions on cryptocurrencies, on exchanges? So what impact has this decision by PayPal brought about?
Well, I think it's a steady trickle of interest by a variety of, different parts of the population in Nigeria and across the world. People are seemingly getting more interested. They're reading up more on crypto. They're getting more curious, how they can get involved, how they can get their fiat money into an ecosystem. This is what people are curious about. What we found and what I've found personally is people are asking more questions. People are asking more critical questions than they were, say, 6 months ago. And I think that has to do with the fact that, the likes of Tesla and now PayPal have made so much noise about it. People are having to, take it more seriously. I think people are generally scared about, things about security and, what would happen if an exchange got hacked, those sort of things. These are things that worry people. KoinKoin, we will be offering over the next few weeks insurance on our crypto custody. So if anything goes wrong with your crypto, you get made whole again. So that's something that we have coming in the next few weeks.
Okay, that is quite interesting. So you touch base a bit with the fluctuations that happen with Bitcoin, which again is the standout cryptocurrency for many, but the value of cryptocurrencies fluctuates. But in recent times, we've seen a really, really high number, record highs in the case of just a few of them. But there's also the fact that some of these Bitcoins are actually worth more than legal tender. Ola, please explain this. There's the paper, there's the money in my wallet that has its value that we've all agreed. Everybody around the world agrees on what that value is. Then there's this Bitcoin, something I can't hold that's online, and you're telling me it's actually worth more than what's in my pocket. Explain this to us.
Well, I mean, if you there are a limited amount of Bitcoins, right? So whatever's limited, if there's an increased demand for it, its value will go up. And it's as simple as that. There are a limited amount of coins which have been minted and, mined, if you like. And eventually, at some point in the future, the last Bitcoin will be mined. Once that happens, Bitcoin or the number of Bitcoins in circulation being held in wallets or being traded will be limited. That very idea of limitation is what makes Bitcoin a store of value for some people, right? And that means more than national sovereign currencies, depending on how a nation's doing. If you say the naira is worth X, for example, what's that based on? Is that based on the economy? Is that based on raw materials? What's it really based on? Nobody really knows. Whatever the central bank says the value is what the value is. With crypto, it's a little bit more transparent. We see the transactions. We know it's a limited amount of coins. On that basis, it's probably going to be worth more because the more people are after it. We've got fiat from all over the world coming into Bitcoin, and that's pushing up the price of Bitcoin.
Interesting. A lot of this is coming around to how not just individuals accept, but how countries and economies also accept cryptocurrencies. And on that note, let me ask, we're seeing more cryptos being created globally as the acceptance grows. Do you think we're going to see countries actually create their own in order to back their traditional legal tender? Is this even happening already? Could we see a Naira coin or a NITS coin or something in relation to that as more countries actually look into getting into this space officially and in the more traditional sense of things?
Yes, of course. We are aware that recently Indonesia has come forward and said they're creating an exchange, a crypto exchange, in so many ways. And they want a piece of, the crypto pie, if you like. If a nation were to have a coin, a digital coin, or, for its currency, if that currency is on the blockchain, then I will expect it to be traded just like anything else. But that will largely be dependent on how that nation wants to control the blockchain. The blockchain is a public ledger, for all transactions, which is available and visible by anyone who has interest in it. Will that be the same case for a sovereign nation? I don't know. And that's where it's difficult. People will only trust when there's transparency. It's the transparency that allows people to say, I will invest or I will buy a coin. Will I buy a nation's coin if there's no transparency? I don't know. But these are the questions that I'm sure we will be asking in the months to come.
All right, so a lot of questions to ask, but we're going to take a break. And there is a number I want you to hold on to, $59,000. I'll explain what that means after the break. Still with me on Business Edge is Ola Atose. He's the founder and CEO of KoinKoin. So right before the break, I gave you a number, 59,000. I should have added one more to it, and I'm going to do that now. 22,424,652. Those two numbers are the dollar and naira value of one Bitcoin as it stands right now. $59,000. Now, Bitcoin, which is the most popular crypto, has nearly doubled in value since the start of this year. It's been boosted by increased interest from larger financial firms that are betting on greater adoption and see it as a hedge against inflation. I have several questions, and as Ola said before the break, there are a lot of questions. But right now, one Bitcoin is worth $59,000. I think I might have 59,000 questions. But Ola, we've seen Bitcoin reach historic highs in the past few months, and it has gone down, but it's gone back up again. It really did touch that 60,000, just a little bit over, and it's been hovering around this 55, 56,000, 59,000 for a while. But how long do you think these highs can last?
Well, there's a very popular saying, what goes up is going to come down.
Always.
It's very hard to tell. One of the things, I learned from my investment banking days is you can talk about the technicals all day long, but the fundamentals win. So what are the fundamentals around Bitcoin? There are none, other than the fact that it's a limit. There is a limited supply of coins, and the more people buy, the more likely the price will go up. But who is buying? Why are they buying? Where are they buying from? We don't know until they've bought. So in all fairness, where the price will be in 2 months, nobody really knows. The one thing I can say is as of late last year, we saw what we call more private wealth coming into crypto, specifically Bitcoin. You have funds, such as the Skybridge Bitcoin Fund, who have pumped in hundreds of millions of dollars into crypto. And this and other companies, such as these, if you want to call them institutional, money has been pouring into crypto. Hence, we see the price go up. So $59,000 Bitcoin, and I think $29 million naira, 29 million naira crypto for one Bitcoin. So that's where we are today.
I'm laughing, but it's actually me crying. It's all right. But Ola, let me ask this. You mentioned the traditional players, so let's talk about them. We're seeing more traditional players enter this cryptocurrency space. What do you think is changing their minds about crypto? Is this FOMO, fear of missing out from the big players? Is it they also wanting to join the bandwagon? Why are they coming to crypto now when many of them actually released papers and research and study that crypto was not to be trusted?
Well, there's a few more acronyms you could bring in. Follow the money, FTM, they're trying to follow the money. I guess another one is, yes, as you say, the fear of missing out. I think some of these institutional companies are offering Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies as a product to their clients. And I think, the popular talk right now on Wall Street and, the banking network where I come from in London is largely about, you could diversify your portfolio, I don't know, maybe 2% 50% of your portfolio should be in crypto. People are talking about, they're holding stocks, they have bonds, treasuries, whatever. They're also saying, a little pile of their cash will go into cryptocurrencies. So that's what we're seeing. It's being taken more seriously by mainstream. Some people don't like it. Some of the traditionalist bankers hate Bitcoin, I can tell you that. And some are, open. Some are open to what it presents. They like the idea of the blockchain, what the technology presents. People are excited about it. More money is coming into crypto. And I think now's the time, for everyone to really take a, hard, long look at cryptocurrency and the potential benefits that may offer.
Very true. So you talked about the fact that a lot of traditional bankers don't like this space that people are going into, but there's also those on the crypto side that are concerned about seeing these big players come in. Goldman Sachs, just like Morgan Stanley, will now be offering Bitcoin as an investment vehicle in the second quarter of 2021, but it will be offered to private wealth management clients. Now, Morgan Stanley is actually the first big U.S. bank to offer its wealthy clients access to Bitcoin funds. It is launching access to 3 funds that enable ownership of Bitcoin. So in terms of the cryptocurrency side of this, what concerns do you think are there? There are those who are concerned because Bitcoin came about, or cryptocurrency, I beg your pardon, came about as something outside of the traditional financial space. It's meant to be outside of that. But when you now start seeing the traditional big players who have managed to sort of corner and dominate the market coming into this space, a lot of people are worried and concerned. What do you think about their concerns?
Well, I mean, ultimately, the way we need to start seeing these cryptos, especially Bitcoin, one Bitcoin, and given its high value, is it's not really going to be in the unit of measure, the unit of count. It's the value it offers, right? So we can talk specifically about the African region and the fact that we have 48 different currencies and 54 different nations. Why do we have that? Where is the value? Wouldn't there be more value if we all traded on a similar coin? It doesn't have to be Bitcoin, it could be a cheaper one that everybody can afford, one that will allow progress and more cross-border trade in a larger economy worth almost 3 trillion for the entire African continent. That is a use case that we need to look at, right? In terms of the bigger players who have more money, who dominate the stock markets and the financial markets, they are welcome to play in it too, as long as whatever transactions they do, if they're not privatized, even if the transactions are privatized, the transactions themselves on the ledger will be available for all to see, right? So this is the one thing that we know. Whenever there's a large amount of money that comes into crypto, it's something the entire network has access to. So I think it's all well and fair that these large players want to play. And again, if anyone has a coin or a particular use case that would be beneficial to a region or to the people in terms of financial inclusion or a variety of other use cases, and I think they should bring it to the table. I think the more participants we have, the better it is for those of us in the business of providing crypto to the public.
All right, so let's bring it back to Nigeria, as you just mentioned. So the central bank is now making clarifications to a statement that it released that really generated a lot of conversation, and that was about banning cryptocurrency trading in Nigeria. Now, bank officials said that the directive is not to be mistaken for an outright ban. Instead, the bank said it has reiterated an already imposed 2017 ban on institutions facilitating cryptocurrency transactions. Now, speaking on behalf of the bank's chief, Godwin Emefiele, the deputy governor, Adamu Lamtek, said that the bank had never banned cryptocurrency activity in the country. That what we have just done was to prohibit transactions on cryptos in the banking sector. I don't know if this clarification has actually clarified or sort of just muddled the waters a bit more. What do you make of this particular stance from the CBN?
Well, I mean, they're trying to make it clear that they're not hindering on the freedom of individuals to do what they want with their money, right? They're not saying don't buy or sell crypto. They're just saying don't use the banking sector, which is licensed by CBN, to do it. The difficulty with that is without the banking sector, it's incredibly difficult to deal in crypto. Of course, P2P is seeing a 20% rise, I believe, in Nigeria. And of course, it is allowing people to continue to trade crypto in some form. But are those users or are those individuals trading, are they protected? Does the CBN care about the users who are doing these trades? And can the CBN perhaps do a little bit more, to protect the consumer and then sort of play the role of the consumer financial watchdog? I think the CBN can do a little bit more. So it's good we've got the clarification and people aren't illegally dealing in crypto. They're allowed to do so. But it will be much better if the CBN put their arms of protection around all of us and provided more guidelines and more protection, more regulation, and perhaps registration and authorization of companies like KoinKoin to deal with crypto in Nigeria.
I just want to put this in very quickly before we leave, and I'll see if I can get a quick answer for you. It might surprise many people to know that Nigeria is actually considered the world's second largest bit market coin market after the United States. And we also know that the Securities and Exchange Commission was actually working on a regulatory framework for trading in cryptos in Nigeria before the whole situation with CBN. And you've mentioned that they should act more as a regulator and a financial watchdog. So let me just reiterate that question again. Who do you think should oversee cryptocurrencies in Nigeria? Is it the Securities and Exchange Commission, which looks at assets that are traded, or the CBN, which is a financial regulator? And just very quickly, what do you think regulation or framework should look like in this regard?
Well, I mean, the framework is, again, I have to go back to the FTM, which is follow the money, right? So the framework has to provide protection for exchanges, protection for users. So a regulatory framework will, in essence, have a number of corners. One of those corners is, identification of customers, is the first thing. Who are the customers? What are their source of funds? This is something that exchanges must do if they are to operate. Another corner to look at would be the travel rule, which is typically who's getting the crypto, where is the crypto coming from, and where is it going to? Something they would have to look at. Another thing that they can also consider as part of this whole process, if they are going to regulate this, is to look at not just the identification of the users and the source of funds, but to really try and understand what protection is in place for users who want to deal in crypto, right? Okay. What kind of protection is in place? As I mentioned earlier, we offer insurance. One of the only people who do that on crypto custody. I think it's absolutely key that the users are protected, the ecosystem, the crypto ecosystem is protected. These are all parts that have to go into looking into regulating, the crypto sphere, if you like. We're regulated, by the way. So, of course, we're more than pleased to offer our help and our advice on that to the CBN.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Ola Atose, founder and CEO of KoinKoin. Thank you for joining us on Business Edge. All right, it's very obvious that this cryptocurrency conversation is not going away anytime soon. One Bitcoin, $59,000, 22 plus million naira. One. All right, let's move on to NC4 to watch before I know some of you are running straight to the internet to find out how you can buy your own Bitcoin. Let's give you a few stories we're keeping our eyes on. A Nigerian tech firm, Carousel, has raised $450,000 in a pre-seed funding round. Now, the company builds technology to power insurance companies, and it has been in existence since 2018. The Coca-Cola company is considering some options for its bottling businesses in Africa. This includes either a sale or initial public offering. And Bloomberg is reporting a sale or an IPO of the stake could value the business at about $6 billion. President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya has appointed a 19-member task force team to review the power purchase agreement of the Kenya Power and Lighting Company. Now, this team will look into compliance with the PPAs and associated deals with the state's policies, laws, and regulations. And finally, before we wrap up NC4 to watch, Egypt's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samia Shukri, has met with his Jordanian counterpart to discuss ongoing preparations for the upcoming trilateral summit between Egypt, Jordan, and Iraq, which will be held in Iraq's capital, Baghdad. And that's it on this edition of Business Edge. As always, thank you for joining me. And if you've missed any of our fantastic conversations on business and financial issues on the continent, head to our websites and also head to YouTube and just look up News Central Business Edge. I'm Tolulokwe Adelere Balogun. I'll see you next time.